Ever since humans huddled around campfires for warmth, they looked to the stars in wonder. As civilization advanced, the wonder grew and evolved. First, stories were told of gods and warriors that lived in the sky. Then tools were developed that could see into the depths of space. Eventually, people escaped the atmosphere and landed on the moon. One question remained throughout the ages: are we alone? Humanity left their dying world for the planets nearby, establishing colonies, maintaining knowledge and culture. Technology continued to improve, to the point that these new worlds were terraformed into luscious forests and farms. With this new technology, they returned to their home and began to restore it to its former beauty. As the Earth was healing and gently repopulated, a miracle of science occurred. The FTL drive, faster than light, a powerful engine created in a remote science facility on a grassy Martian field. With it, the universe within arm's reach. A sudden resurgence on the quest to find intelligent life began. Moving forward was slow at first, with efforts torn between healing the planet and preparing colony ships for distant voyages. When the Earth was fully restored, 20 planets had been colonized with terraforming in progress. 6 space stations in operation, artificial gravity discovered, nearly instantaneous FTL communications, and nanobot medical instruments began to become commonplace. It wasn't all pleasant. Petty squabbles continued to erupt into violence. Small-scale wars and battles hardened generations, and pirates hunted for the less defended mining and trading ships. Nothing compared to the atrocities of some of the wars on Earth, but still prevalent. Ship shields were designed to slow projectiles before impacting armored hulls. Highly accurate railguns were produced for military vessels. Coil guns, laser rifles, plasma guns, and electric arc weapons all began to be commonplace. Humanity continued to expand, learn, and improve. For 600 years since the FTL drive was created, the humans created new homes for themselves and looked for anyone else exploring the stars. After 600 years, humans inhabited hundreds of planets and space stations, but never found anyone to talk to. Humanity had nearly lost hope, that is, until a small mining vessel, Nomad Sanctuary, discovered intelligent life in a far-out asteroid field, quite by accident. These aliens were a collection of different species that called themselves the Galactic Federation. They came from homeworlds with more gentle climates, lower gravity, and fewer predators. Earth was considered a Class 6 death world, a planet that could sustain life, but so dangerous that no creature would be able to evolve into a spacefaring race. Their ships relied heavily on laser technology and shields that could defend against lasers. As the ships didn't have to haul heavy projectile weapons or armor plating, they were considerably lighter and faster. The empires in the Galactic Federation determine which solar systems may contain livable planets and which contain nothing but barren rocks, gas giants, and death worlds. Those less desirable solar systems get grouped together and labeled dark space. Dark space is unexplored, uninhabited, and frequently used by pirates and other unsavory types to avoid law enforcement or military units. Unfortunately, Earth lay deep inside dark space. The Galactic Federation accepts any species that developed FTL technology into their organization, so there's typically a very short delay between FTL discovery and first contact. Since humans did not have this luxury, many technologies and advancements that would be shared or traded to them had to be discovered and created. This only amplified the difference between humans and other races, as the humans had different solutions and scientific methods that showed itself in technology. This, and the ability to advance relatively quickly without outside influence, scared a lot of the older species in the Galactic Federation. It was several months after first contact when it started. The human race was overjoyed and optimistic about the ongoing friendly relations with the Federation, with several colonies even attempting to alter their growing infrastructure to accommodate the other races. Peace treaties, trade deals, and membership to the Federation were all in progress when a human colony at the edge of dark space sent an SOS A massive fleet was over their planet, destroying orbital defenses and landing precision strikes on both industrial and residential structures. The limited armed resistance was being eradicated, and any shuttles attempting to escape the planet's surface were followed and shot down. The humans immediately sent a Navy fleet to save the planet, but what followed instead was a space battle against overwhelming numbers. The aliens landed on the planet and hunted the survivors down to the last man. Of the 23 Navy ships sent, only 2 returned. The entire planet was lost. Humanity moved quickly, organizing evacuations of nearby colonies and gathering more active Navy ships for combat. Shipbuilding facilities were a frenzy as construction struggled to keep up with demand. Weapon production nearly tripled overnight, reserve units were activated, and emergency broadcasts traveled across dark space informing citizens of the threat and actions to prepare. Meanwhile, the diplomats in communication with the Galactic Federation struggled to get information on what had happened to their species. They were told harsh truths. The Corin, a hive-type species nearly as old as the Federation itself, was responsible for the attack. The Corin are an insect species with a thick exoskeleton and poisonous venom. Their homeworld was a jungle world with no other apex predator, a lower gravity, and a warm climate. Every ship contains a queen that controls between 20 and 2,000 workers. They saw the introduction of the human race as a possible threat to their long-held seat of power in the Federation, and decided to stop this new species before it could grow with Federation technology. The humans asked, then begged for the Federation to do something to stop this intended extinction, but were met with denial. The Galactic Federation did not intervene in wars among members, not unless certain criteria were met. An independent species became involved. Galactic Federation peacekeepers or enforcers were attacked, or a sentient race was completely extinguished. The Federation diplomats regretfully informed the humans that they could not act until one of these were met. No aid would see human hands. Cries of outrage and demands for blood echoed throughout the colonies, but the betrayal was done. The Federation would not help them, and humanity could not fight 2 wars. For months, the humans saw nothing but defeats in combat, not able to save a single planet. Millions had died, and thousands of ships destroyed. Total defeat seemed inevitable. With this, the humans became desperate. Evacuated planets would sabotage their own terraforming equipment and set planet-wide fires as they left. The balance between production and conserving their remaining terraformed worlds was lost. Earth once again became covered in smog and smoke from factories. Colonies chose to strip their planets of resources faster than their thin atmospheres could handle. Forest-covered planets were clear-cut and turned into massive food-producing havens to support the other planets' sacrifices. Captured alien ship from first contact was torn apart by scientists, eager to develop new technology for Navy fighters. Waves of Navy ships were lost against a far more numerous enemy. But after 1 year, the Corin invasion slowed to a crawl. After 3 years, it was a pulsing wall of territory loss and gain. Humans were using tactics and technology never seen before by the Federation. Projectile-based weapons were abandoned by most species before ever leaving their atmosphere, in favor of laser rifles. With lower gravity, the body is less dense and lasers are more effective, so high-energy projectiles weren't needed. When projectile weapons were used, they were much weaker, and due to the minuscule amount of armed conflicts compared to Earth, lasers were more easily adopted. In space battles, however, the hundreds of years humans spent improving projectile weapons gave them an advantage. Energy shields weren't very effective at stopping a high-speed projectile, and the thin hulls had little reason to be armored. If not for the drastic difference in ship numbers, the humans may not have lost a single planet. When weapon production outpaced shipbuilding, civilian vessels were outfitted with a small number of railguns and manned by government-sanctioned privateers. The ships were smaller and traveled alone or in wolf packs, only targeting Corin ships that got separated or traveled in small numbers. Their size and numbers made it easy to evade and ambush an enemy trained in a different battle doctrine, one with rules. The privateers were unpredictable, opportunistic, and scavengers. The human government placed bounties on key Corlin leaders and ships, sabotage and assassinations previously being rare in Federation conflicts. The human government also paid for any captured enemy equipment, and, in the early years of the war, captured workers and queens. The Corlin paid in blood for every advance into dark space. Captured planets were booby-trapped, sabotaged, mined, and burned. Ship-seeking mines were scattered during human retreats. Signal boosters mounted on asteroids blocked workers' communication with the Queen until the booster was destroyed. Hidden pillboxes armed with AA guns designed to pierce ship hulls were dug into moons and planets. Corlin planets would sometimes be attacked by an unseen privateer attempting an assassination. Human scouts evaded enemy forces to report locations, numbers, and enter Galactic Federation cities. In the cities they purchased new technology and maps, bribed Federation security for information and weaknesses, and returned everything to human-controlled space. Scientists reverse-engineered alien technology and mass-produced it, or to improve human-made designs. Navy ships became faster, with stronger shields, better scanners, and harder to detect. Humans now knew the location of every Corlin world, their equipment and ship construction, and complete anatomy. Corlin antivenom was made available to every soldier and privateer, and supply lanes from Corlin worlds to their massive fleet were under threat. 15 years after the start of the war, 2 new weapons became the straw that broke the camel's back. First was a method of using a ship's railguns with superior alien tracking and targeting technology. Navy ship would be moving at maximum speed with FTL engines directly at a Corlin fleet, then fire railgun salvos and retreat, all without entering the solar system. The result was dozens of tungsten rods moving faster than the speed of light, making contact with a massive fleet. Second was a rudimentary O-weapon, explained simply, a FTL engine, power source, targeting and navigation equipment, with a nuclear warhead. While being slightly unreliable and expensive to make, its effect was devastating. The Corlin fleet, slowly strangled by targeted supply lines, weakened by 15 years of a planned 1-year war, and now forced to be spread into a harder-to-hit, but easier-to-pick-off target. Due to these new weapons, they began their retreat. They stopped at each planet they had captured in an attempt to keep gained territory, and each time they had to abandon it. Corlin-occupied planets would be targeted with laboratory-engineered bioweapons, strains of smallpox, anthrax, and bubonic plague specifically designed to ravage Corlin cells. In hives the diseases spread quickly, and once the fleet was broken enough for landing craft, made resistance weak. The Corlin would build reinforced hives under the surface of the captured planets, resistant to orbital strikes. The human response to this was to flood the tunnels with nerve agents before sending troops with handheld projectile weapons and flamethrowers. Once all signs of life were gone, place charges would collapse the hive. After another 8 years of retaking previously human-owned planets, the Corlin were forced out of dark space. However, the humans' paranoia and rage would not allow this to be the end, and their actions replaced the Federation's shock with terror. When the diminishing Corlin fleet retreated to their worlds, targeted FTL tungsten salvos impacted the planet's fault lines. Planet after planet was cracked open and became entirely unsurvivable. The dwindled, starving, and battle-damaged fleet tried one last counterattack in a state of panic. The normally hyper-organized force left themselves vulnerable and were cut apart. Fleeing ships were hunted down, much like the fleeing human civilian ships were 26 years ago. With no fleet and no planet save a jungle environment homeworld, the Corlin were facing their end, and the humans intended to give it to them. When the battle-worn human fleet arrived at the last Corlin sanctuary, they were met by Galactic Federation enforcers. The enforcer ships blockaded the planet, and stated that killing this world would violate Federation law. The Navy fleet held at the blockade for 3 weeks. The war had gone on for 26 years. Human-held planets were poisoned by the war effort. Billions had died. They were not willing to fight the entire Federation so close to the end. So the humans, now feeling betrayed for a second time, pulled their navy back to dark space. The feeling of optimism and joy of first contact was dead, replaced with anger, betrayal, and paranoia. The humans returned to their planets, starting the process of recovery all over again, once more healing the Earth. For the next 1,000 years, humans were a silent member of the Galactic Federation, occasionally trading, making alliances, and providing aid. They protect their technology and information aggressively. No one knows what weapons, engines, or shields they currently use. Only general territory is released. Individual colonized planet, and even solar system locations are kept hidden from the Federation. A massive fleet is maintained to protect their species against any threat, and supplies on every colony are stockpiled. Scientists continue to research and develop new technologies and improve existing ones. Hope is not dead, however, and the average human still wants to find intelligent life still unknown to the universe. So they look deeper into dark space, still growing, still searching. There are rumors that they found a sentient species in dark space that has developed their first FTL engine, a species they protect and guide. Individuals and small groups of humans still choose to live in Federation space, entering trading or mining ships, escorting cargo or assisting in relief efforts. They are uncommon, though, so it is unlikely that a Federation citizen will ever meet one. Those who do meet them know to tread carefully. The humans are not naturally violent, but with their unpredictable nature, and after the war with the Corin, first impressions can be stressful. Humans can also be seen buying new technology and participating in Federation research projects before returning to dark space. There are rumors that humans bribe Federation soldiers for weaknesses and classified projects of Federation species. Overall, though, the Galactic Federation is relieved to have the humans as members. Between providing emergency aid, assisting on research teams, and acting as a major deterrent against would-be invaders, they are a blessing. And while being the target of their rage is a death sentence, they will remain your silent protector unless provoked.